So the topic that I'm going to present today is about the India's youth unemployment crisis. India is set to become the world's most populous nation and also its youngest. It is estimated that by 2030, one in every five working age people will be Indian. Even though this represents an enormous opportunity, we are actually failing to put them to work. This is because of India's labor force participation rate, which stands at only about 40%. So this is very low as compared to other leading economies of the world. And also there's a weird paradox revolving around the educated sector, where the educated people of India are facing more unemployment than the uneducated people. So this seems like a structural mismatch between the jobs that India is creating and the skills, aspirations, and sheer numbers of people entering the workforce. So why this matters is that the concept of demographic dividend comes into play. The economic boom that comes from having a large working age population is actually time limited, and it is estimated that India's open window is roughly about till 2040. And after that, the population begins to age, the dependency ratios rise, and the opportunity closes permanently. So India is currently in the danger of growing old before it grows rich, a phenomenon economists call the demographic curse. So the kind of ameliorative measures that the government of India has to take is the first one being the labor intensive manufacturing push. So India must actually attract global supply chains relocating out of China through a sharper production linked intensive scheme, which they are currently pursuing very hardly, with priority given to sectors like textiles, footwear, electronics, assembly, and toys. And second step is to create a meaningful labor reform. That is, India's patchwork of 40 plus central labor laws has long deterred formal hire. But the four formal labor codes that were passed between 2019 or 20 has already consolidated these textures, but implementation still remains stalled among most states. And next comes the skilling at scale. The Skill India mission must evolve from issuing certifications to guaranteed job placement with industry co-designed curriculum and mandatory apprenticeship quotas for large firms. And also, we need to formalize the informal sector, where between 75 to 90 percentage of Indian workers are actually in the informal sector. No contracts, no social security, and no protected work. By expanding the EFPU coverage and linkages like Jatan, we can actually formalize the informal sector. But the certain barriers for implementation of these measures come like the politically explosive labor reform state where the state governments feared electoral backlash from trade unions and incumbent, and also the skilling programs are chronically underfunded, poorly monitored, and decoupled from actual industry demand.